I have a poem called I Am Enough, which I am going to get to in about 8 minutes. From this point forward, I have no idea what I'm going to say. But I know that the thing that everyone is expecting is some poetry. And I know that poetry flows through me when I allow myself to show up transparently. Because apparently the thing that blocks the flow in me is when I have all these thoughts that try and tell me that I'm not enough. And I thought, well, I could get on stage and speak words that I've memorized, but I felt like I would have plagiarized some emotional experience from the past. Because last night I was in tears, facing off with my fears of all the ways that I wasn't showing up. Facing off with the little kid in me that continues to struggle with growing up. And so I decided with this theme of conquered, to conquer my fear and stand up here and say, this is me. Authentically, transparently, presently here with no idea of what I'm meant to be. Trusting that what I'm meant to be is me. And as I've listened to all of these people who have conquered their fear, I think about that word in the past tense, conquered. Is my fear in the past? Because the last one that I got through led to the next one. And after that, I got led to the best one. And that took a few months of depression to learn the lesson that the perfection is in the reflection. So what am I actually looking for? What am I trying to achieve? What more can I have? 200 million views on a video, that's amazing. And I sit there feeling like I'm blazing a trail to nowhere sometimes. And I show up here, and I hope that the lines appear in the form of rhyme so that you hear the art. Because art is a permission slip to the heart. When people walk into that movie theater, they say, I want to feel something. But then out in society, they're being sold nothing. They're being sold something to numb themselves, the food that we eat, the media that's being consumed, the pharmaceuticals designed to get us not to feel. But in order to feel, we need to heal. So how do we do that? We show up and say, I am enough. I don't need to know more than that. To get to the poem that I have in store, I feel like I need to earn that right here, minute by minute, word by word. I know it might be absurd because I had some things that I wanted to talk about, but when I woke up this morning, my brain was shouting, you can't show up here and be fake. No matter what it takes, remain committed to setting a new pace, setting a new space for people to show up and say, I belong. Because I'm human too, just like you, no matter how many views. So many people came on stage and they opened themselves up. They were so brave because courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Every single person that you have looked up to, all your role models that you might like, every time they took the mic, there was a part of them that wondered, might I screw this up? As I'm doing this, is the flow just going to stop? That awkward silence comes in. We all hear the tick, tock, of the clock. And if I said nothing, what then? Would you still let the message in? When you start to understand that all you have to do is be you, every word you speak is worthy of the stage. Every word that you write is worthy of the page. And you will be amazed at what can happen when you start to unwrap inside. I started to feel worthy of the stage when I no longer needed the stage to feel worthy of the message. Because the mess is the message. And what I do is show up and just put my mess on display. And then maybe all of you will have an experience today that says, wow, he can do that. That means so can I. Because I've lived a life that has had the pitfalls and the wounds and the traumas and the dramas. The sexual abuse that told me that it wasn't my life to choose, that somehow my safety had been taken away from me, and it was time for me to see the world through a lens of fear, put up walls around my heart and not let anyone near. The father that decided to discipline with belts and wooden sticks. And with every hit, being reminded that it was not safe in my own home. And where does a kid go when he feels so alone but doesn't feel safe in the world? Who does he phone when he can't phone home? Feeling like E.T. inside of me. But recognizing in the weirdest way, it's the trauma that connects all of us today. Everyone has experienced some form of heartache and heartbreak. Everyone has experienced some form of wound. Everyone has wanted at some point to lay down in that tomb and cover it up like a sarcophagus. And the hits might keep coming, but remember this. There's no running from your own shadow. There's no running from yourself. So when you start to accept all the broken pieces inside, you don't need anyone else's help. You are your own support. And you're never alone. There's a difference between being lonely and being alone. And as long as we keep being phony, we will never find home. Because home is where the heart is. Home is where we open up and allow ourselves to really get started in creating connection. To me, right now, this is my home. You are my family. I hope you feel that because I'm allowing you to see inside of me. Breaking all the rules of society that says I need to put up a front. I need to let people see that I got it all together. But the truth is that the proof is in the connections that you make when you allow yourself to make the societal mistake of being you in every moment. Own it. Listen to the people who stepped on stage today because they gave you the light that shines the way into your own greatness. There's no reason for you to be afraid of this. And this was my experiment. Can I show up and maybe blow up in a giant mess, but know That the medicine that came through me, the medicine that was here, was for me just as much as for you. And that's all we can really do. Who knew? I guess a part of me did. The part of me that told me that I can't speak the words that I'd already written. Until I finally felt like enough. And I feel that right now. So I'm going to share with you a poem that I've actually written and hopefully memorized, called I Am Enough. Can I have everyone take a nice deep inhale? Exhale. I am enough. But enough of what? Every time I hear those words, I feel like they keep getting stuck up in my head, conflicting with all the words that I've said to myself on repeat for most of my life. Yeah, I haven't been very nice to myself. Bottom to top, I've spent most of my time focused on why I was not enough. Flat feet, too slow. Chicken legs won't grow. Like self-deprecation was an occupation. I went pro long ago. And I know that the mind learns through repetition. And no matter how quiet I speak, it's always around to listen. Creating the vision of who I am based on self-talk. So why not speak what I can and stop all the can nots? Because I got a lot of knots. I thought a lot of thoughts that brought a lot of nada, so I fought to make them stop. I finally gave my ego what it wanted, and I told it what I am not. I am not dumb. I am not ugly. I am not giving up. I am not weak. I'll get back on my feet no matter how much I slip up. I am not broken. I am not afraid. And so when the going gets tough, I can see what I am not, and it reminds me I am enough. I am enough strength to overcome any obstacle placed in my way. I am enough courage to keep my heart open after heartbreak. I am enough will to get through any hard day. I am enough fun to turn all of my work into play. I am enough pride to not be torn down by what people say. I am enough humility to own up to all my mistakes. And it doesn't take a special ability, just a perspective shift to go through this list and always remember this. For everything I'm not, there's something that I am. For everything I can't, there's something that I can. I can be happy. I can be free. I can be authentic. In fact, I'm already me. And I am so grateful for me and everything I am. And so for the rest of my life, I will do whatever I can to remember that, yeah, I am not a lot of stuff. But there's one thing I am. I am enough.